Hello, hello. Um, so we're going to talk a little bit about recovery, and my whole thing is to simplify. Let's just simplify this thing, and so lots of folks are struggle. They struggle with recovery, and I'm like, Jesus, how can you struggle with recovery? I mean, look at how simple it can be. So first of all, the first my question is, have we realized that we need help and that we can't find recovery or find peace of mind or find you know the yeah, serenity without help. And so that's my big question. And so most people realize it. I mean, if you've been around, if you're kind of recovery curious, or you're 12-step curious, or you're suffering with the disease, or you know it. You say, well, shit, I need help. So what is the thing that blocks us from receiving the help? What is it that keeps us from taking it in? Because if you've been around the meetings at all, if you've been that people are available. They're like, people are there. They're saying, "Hey, I'm here. I can help. Let me help." And I'll tell you what blocks you is that basically we're afraid. We don't trust. We're like, "Holy shit, what does he want? Why would anybody want to help me?" Those kind of questions come up. So you get it? You hear that? That's what's going on in the mind. That's ego. That's self-centered fear. And that's what's keeping us separate from everybody in the planet. It's why we're in so much pain. And so the first bridge that we cross is the bridge of allowing somebody to help us. It doesn't have to be the bridge of belief in a higher power. It can just be the belief in the sincere caring that people have. You know, in recovery, they've been where you are, and they're like, "Holy shit, I know what it feels like to be alone, to feel alone, to be scared, to feel deep fear." We know that. We're in recovery. We know that. So that's the deal. But it's ego, right? Um, Ego that says that we're afraid to let people help us. So that's the deal. So just recognize that the whole thing for it to work is, to a certain degree, you have to let people help you. You have to let people into your life. And if you stay around long enough, you begin to realize, uh, yes, I hear you, Natalie. That's great. You begin to realize, if you stay around long enough, you begin to realize that the people in the 12-step world don't want anything from you. We're not trying to get anything. We don't, it's not that we don't care, but we're there unconditionally, and we're not invested. We don't get any prize or reward, right? Um, you know, so so if you're new and you're thinking, okay, I realize that the only way I'm going to get this is to let people into my life and say, yes, I'll let people help me. And it's not working. If you're still, terrified, so pray about it a bit, or, you know, go to a ton of meetings at least so you start to feel comfortable around people and you start to see people, the same people on a regular basis. And because it is kind of like familiarity makes it a little easier. And if you're in recovery and you want to know, how do I help other people, well, kind of spend time with them. You don't have to just spend, you know quality working in the book time. I mean, we're going to do the steps, but sometimes just spend time with them a bit, so that and get to know their story. And there's a whole chapter called working with others, which is friggin' amazing. It has so much detail in it. But so when the realization finally comes for the newcomer that we're not looking for anything, there's no dues to pay, no X's to grind. We're not looking for anything. We're not, you know, um, radically against anything or for anything. And the newcomer gets that. They're like, holy shit, this is pretty crazy. And you start to see the love. If you've ever been to a meeting and somebody says, um, just, let us love you until you can love yourself. Have you ever heard that? Just let us love you till you can love yourself. And we're like, holy shit, okay, you know, and and uh, it begins to open up a little bit. We begin to recognize that, our fear of being vulnerable falls away, and we start to speak in the meeting, and we hear others being very vulnerable and talking about their experience, and the whole thing is a melting process. It really is. And then you start to believe. You come to believe that there's a power, and the power that you come to believe in is the power of love, right? You come to believe that if you sober up in the 12 steps, you come to believe in the power of love, and surely that's a power greater than ourselves. So it doesn't have to be complicated. It really doesn't have to be complicated. It can be quite friggin' simple. What's my higher power? Let it be love. And you can see it in action in the rooms every single day. Every single day, you see it in action. Somebody reaches out and shakes your hand. Somebody says, "How you doing?" Somebody gives you a call. You know, and so that's the deal. The power, of love can be your higher power, and then the shift happens. When we talk in the doctor's opinion, and Carl Jung said that what needed to happen was a complete realignment, a psychic change, a shift. And the shift that happens, we go from being afraid to that of people, of everything, when we're always judging and wondering what people's intentions are. What do they want? What do they want? Why are they being nice to me? And that may seem quite drastic, but that's what we're doing often. Angling in our mind to think, why is that guy? What does he want? Why are they being nice to me? Why are they trying to help me? And we finally realize it. Holy shit! They care. You know, they care. Part of their recovery is to love me. And when you get that, then the shift begins to happen. It's like, oh, so that's that's how I get to stay sober. That's how you get to stay sober. Is you all of a sudden, you find yourself reaching out to shake the hand of the newcomer, and you start to give it away. And there's that. Then the shift is starting to happen, where the ship, the whole thing, has the train has left the station. You're on it. It's the beginning of a new life, and you go from a fear of and looking at everything that we've done as trying to get something, to realizing that just sitting with the newcomer and listening to their story is love in action. So that's my deal. I mean, when I'm working with guys and they're having a tough time with a relationship with a higher power, you know, I point them to this. This is the relationship. It's love, and love is our higher power. So that's the deal, you guys. My deal is I love you, and it's easy. It's easy. There's no love is not a limited commodity. There's no, it's not exclusive. Love is inclusive. You know, just like the 12-step world. Everybody is welcome, and that's why it's grown to what it has, because we don't need anything from anybody. We're here to give, and that's our job. So that's it. I'm going to read. I've been doing this little reading thing for a while, and we're today is what day is it? The 19th of March. So I've been reading from this little book for a little over a year, and we're not quite a year. I guess it would be a year in May. But today's the 19th of March, and we're going to read. This is a 24-hour day book, and I just love what it says. It's got great little pieces in it. I mean, I don't always agree every day, but it's got great little pieces in it. So if you're in recovery, or or you have family that is wanting to recover, or dicking around with recovery, I mean, just recognize that the thing that keeps them back often is, yes, it's pride, it's fear, and it's a sense of unworthiness, all of that stuff. But it's love that melts, you know, the whole thing, and recognizing that, you know, there isn't anything else that's going to melt that icy wall of pride and fear and anger except love. And so love them, even if you have to set boundaries sometimes, even if you can't see them sometimes, even if they're not very. It's not much fun being around them, and but love melts it all. And I have another little recipe that I believe that helps, and this is a personal story. I'm just going to tell you this quick one, then I'll read this. I believe that the prayers of my mother, God rest her soul, the prayers of my mother were powerful in the recovery of, my three brothers and my sister. We're definitely a bunch of alcoholics and addicts, and the whole bunch of us, and my mom's prayers. So if you have an alcoholic or an addict, this may sound crazy, but there's more than we understand going on here. So I encourage you that with love, just pray for them, you know, and that can be more powerful than intervention. It is an intervention. It's and you can advocate for them into that universal power of love. And so that's my little tip for family. Because family's like, damn, it's hard when you have an addict in the house or in your life, or an alcoholic in your life. It's hard. We know. I have a bunch of them, and in recovery, I've had to really surrender lots to alcoholics and addicts in my family. To recognize that I didn't cause it. I can't cure it. And you know, that's the thing. You didn't cause it, and you can't cure it. And but we can pray for them. Okay, here we go. March 19th, thought for the day. When we were drinking, we used to be ashamed of the past. That's right. We lived a lot in the past, and remorse is terrible mental punishment. Yes, we had remorse. Ashamed of ourselves for the things we've said and done, afraid to face people because of what they might think of us, afraid of the consequences of what we did when we were drunk. In the 12-step world, in AA, we forgot about the past. The question is, do I believe that God has forgiven me for everything I've done in the past? Well, let's replace the word God with love. Do I believe that love has forgiven me for everything I've done in the past, no matter how black it was, provided I'm honestly trying to do the right thing today? So yes, has love forgiven us? Is love available? Love is open. Love is unconditional. It really doesn't matter. Once we begin the shift to realize that there is a new life, it doesn't matter. We have, it's gone. We've amended the past with our actions and the steps. So, the steps are the path. It really works. Meditation for the day. God's Spirit is all about you all day long. God's Spirit is all about you all day long. You have no thoughts, no plans, no impulses, no emotions that Spirit does not know about. You can hide nothing from that Spirit. That's right, because we're in the last analysis. Where do we find God? According to Bill, deep down inside every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God. So how can we hide something from that, from love, when we're in it? This is it. Where is God not? Where is love not? So there's nothing to hide. There's no possible way. Sometimes when we talk about God, we talk about it as if it's something separate from us. But Bill says we agnostics, God either is or he isn't. Either he's everything or he's nothing. If he's everything, then it's not separate. It's not separate. It's just a realization of that. And that energy that we're talking about manifests itself in love. Do we make our conduct conform only to what the world sees, and do not depend on the approval or disapproval of men? Do not, it says, do not make your conduct conform only to what the world sees, and do not depend on the approval or disapproval of men. God sees. God sees in secret, but he rewards it openly. Oh, nice. If you're in harmony with the divine spirit, doing your best to live the way you believe God or that divine spirit or love wants you to live, you will be at peace. Prayer for the day. I pray that I always feel love's presence, God's presence, universal intelligence presence, right? I love it. I pray that I may realize this presence constantly all through the day. So how do we do that? Um, we're going to stop just for a second and have a short meditation. And because for me to talk about or to guide, uh, with a short meditation that's kind of the way to stop. Many spiritual teachers have said, be quiet, find that quiet space, be quiet. So, in the quietness, in the stillness is where we become, aware of that love, where we become aware of that presence, aware of that oneness, aware of the now, aware of God. And so we're going to practice right now. I'd like you to just join me for, like literally, it's only going to be 3 or 4 minutes, okay? Just try this. A lot of people have said to me, oh, I can't meditate. I don't know how to meditate. Well, forget about the word meditation. Let's not call it that. Let's just call it sitting. So we're going to sit. We're going to drop in for like 3 or 4 minutes. And then if you want to stay in that space longer, do. But when I'm finished, I'll be going, and you can just stay as long as you want. Just drop into this now, into this oneness. So sense your body. Bring yourself into your feet, right? Into your calves, into your knees, to your hips. Just bring yourself right here now. Into your belly. Just bring your attention, your awareness, your focus into this space. And a beautiful way to do that is to bring that attention into your body, to your shoulders, to your hands, fingers. Into your breath. Be here now in your breath. If thoughts come up, just watch them. Nothing to do. Just let them go. Let go of all thoughts of the past, all thoughts of the future. Because right now, there's no thought. It's just now. Just sense the stillness, the quiet. That beautiful quiet space. There's no struggle, there's no strife, there's no drama, there's no fear, there's no guilt. It's just freedom. So come back to this space often. All right, I'm going to go. You can stay in this space for as long as you like. Okay, love you lots, you guys. Love to subscribe to my YouTube channel, will you? Thank you.